All right, guys, Night of Champions 2011, AirBoom taking on Conspiracy. That's what I'm going to call them, just because they're both, everybody's looking at this as a horrible thing for The Miz, that he went from world champion as WWE champion, headlining WrestleMania, and now he's jobbing it with, the likes of Kofi Kingston and Evan Bourne. I see it a little different. R-Truth right now, if it wasn't for CM Punk, I would say is the best on the microphone. When he starts talking about Little Jimmy, people enjoy it. He is a completely booed heel. He's got it down packed. And I think they both kind of do it in different ways. The Miz is more of a, I don't want to say new generation heel. He kind of plays that he wants it inside you. That's what? That's what he said. R-Truth is basically your regular heel. He can speak the part. He's there. He's a bad guy. He does it very well. The Miz kind of evokes out a feeling of kind of like a hatred for being so cocky all the time. People want to see him lose. People want to see him win. Whatever your reaction is to The Miz, he's got stones. Now, The Miz is being paired up with a veteran like R-Truth. And you may be saying, well, they've both been in the WWE a while. Why is R-Truth considered a veteran? He's not a world champion. He's not, what's the difference? I look at it from the point of perspective that The Miz and R-Truth is a pretty good, kind of tag team. You look at Show Miz. Show Miz paired the Big Show up. They were a tag team. And what came from that? The Miz became, champion. I don't know if necessarily The Miz is ready right now, because right now there's no way Miz is getting back into the main title sequence or, in the main event because of The Rock, CM Punk, those guys. I think CM Punk is going to go back. I'm not going to talk about that in this one. So I don't see any picture anywhere for CM Punk. It's basically taking the spotlight away from these two guys that I don't see either one of them in the main event, like it was. Before they came along, it was still John Cena versus The Miz. They went an I Quit match. They went at it. Then it was R-Truth versus John Cena, Capital Punishment. And then CM Punk led way. CM Punk's led the way. These two guys are pretty much doing nothing. It's the same thing with Kofi and Evan Bourne. Now, you guys may like AirBoom. I think, they play off really well to the crowd. I also feel, though, they're kind of like guys that are thrown together just randomly. They're not like guys like the Usos, which are brothers. So, they would tag team together. But guys like Michael McGillicuddy and David Otunga that really seem to fit. I don't know what it is about those two in Nexus that I really like them. I know a lot of people don't like them. I think they can handle themselves. And, Jennifer Hudson isn't too bad herself. Now, one thing I can tell you is I don't know how long they're going to last. If you guys follow WWE Creative, and I highly suggest you do follow them, go to twitter.com/WWE Creative, WWE_creative. They're basically the writers that tweet out during the show and, leading up and talking about merchandise and all this other stuff. And they're absolutely hilarious. And Night of Champions, they originally going to call it Night of Transitional Champions, basically because what's going to happen at Night of Champions. Now, and they've been kind of saying that AirBoom has been a success because they haven't broke apart and started feuding yet. Now, what I think is going to happen at Night of Champions is I think it would be kind of a bitch for Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston to drop the titles this fast. The titles seems to be changing hands pretty fast, and then, unlike most times when you usually drop a title to somebody to eventually, move on up, Wade Barrett didn't move on up after he dropped the IC title to Ezekiel Jackson. Now Ezekiel Jackson's just floundering in the wind. Same thing with these guys. For them to lose him, I don't know what they would do, because we've already got a strong United States pitcher with, Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, Alex Riley, those kind of guys that I think that's pretty much swollen up for the next couple months as far as the United States Championship goes. So where does it leave guys like The Miz, R-Truth, Kofi Kingston, Evan Bourne, David Otunga, Michael McGillicuddy? Well, where that leaves them is I think they're going to have to stay a tag team. Now, this may come as kind of a surprise, and, maybe they don't stay as a tag team. But my prediction and my hope is that these guys do stay together, at least to bring some legitimacy back to tag teams. Now, they're not like the old school tag teams. They're not like Road Warriors, D-Generation X, Legacy. Teams like this where, they worked super well. The whole theme, everything went well. They're not like that. They're not that kind of champion, But they go really well. The Miz and R-Truth, I think they have great chemistry, a little bit more than Evan Bourne and Kofi Kingston. You have The Miz and R-Truth, who are great on the microphone, do a completely awesome job, and then you got guys like Kofi Kingston that wow with a high flying like Evan Bourne. And then you got guys like David Otunga and Michael McGillicuddy that are just a sound tag team. So I think these tag teams are going to stay together for a little bit, just for the sole fact that I don't know what they would do if they weren't in kind of a feud for the United States Championship. If they weren't there, they're pretty much pointless if they're not doing something. So I see them feuding for the tag team titles. Now, how long the reign will stay, who knows? I want to know your guys' feedback. If you want to watch Night of Champions with us, you want to get a chance to watch it with us, come over to threadshow.com/Night of Champions. It's where you guys can come and hang out with us. And we're going to talk and have a good time during Night of Champions this Sunday, September 18th at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you guys don't live in Central Standard Time like Wisconsin, Chicago, look up a time converter for 6 p.m. Guys, my prediction, Miz and R-Truth is going to pick up the victory, although I would be disappointed if Kofi and Evan dropped it this early, guys. Threadshow.com/Night of Champions. You guys have a great day. Facebook.com/Tubby Emu to come hang out with me. Guys, Tubby out.